Well, this weekend is the 40th anniversary date of Roe versus Wade, and 40 years of abortion being legal in this country. And the passion to fight against that has never been greater, and we're making progress. I am honored to have in the studio with me today my good friend and warrior, Bryon is with us, and we're talking about your events coming up this weekend, buddy.
Bryon thanks
Platt.
for having us.
You're the executive director of Jackson County Right to Life, and we'll be talking to Steve here in just a moment. But first of all, the event Sunday.
Okay, so we have events both in Grants Pass and Medford, and I'll let Steve speak to the Grants Pass event. But our event's back at the Jackson County Justice Building.
Okay.
We've had a kind of a 2-year hiatus where we worked with the Oregon Memorial Wall.
Yeah, that
if you
was
recall.
very powerful.
It is very powerful, but we felt like for the 40th, as significant as that number is, that it was time to go back to the Justice Building. So it's at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be not rain or shine. Hopefully it'll be shine, not fog. It's going to be cold, so bundle up.
Yeah.
But looking forward to it, Perry. We've got a great lineup of people, and it's just to take the time out of your afternoon, put the football game on TiVo, and come down there and be energized. It's just going to be a great time. Really looking forward to
1:30 at the Justice Building.
1:30 at the Justice Building.
Jackson County. All right, Steve, are you there?
Hello, Perry.
Hi, Steve. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well.
All
Hi,
right.
Bryon.
Hey, Steve.
Tell us what's happening in Joe County coming up this weekend.
Well, we are marking the 40th anniversary of Roe v. Wade by having our annual March for Life, where we have 2 lanes of 6th Street from the courthouse down to Riverside Park, where we gather for a rally, worship music and speakers, and prayer at the park.
Okay.
Which takes place at about 2 o'clock. So we gather at the courthouse at 1, March launches at 1:30, and then we rally at the park at 2 o'clock.
All right, and let me encourage all of you in the Josephine County area, meet at the courthouse at 1, and then that wonderful walk down over the bridge to Riverside Park and the rally at 2. And it's always been an outstanding event, well attended. And who's your speaker this year?
Well, we've got a number of speakers. Art Robinson has been invited. Bob Just, as far as I know, will be speaking. We have Alexa Sled, who is a wonderful young woman, pro-life, who actually has won the state oratory contest in Oregon 2 years and went to nationals and placed well at nationals. So she's speaking.
Okay.
And there's some other surprise speakers. We're going to have some local dignitaries and politicians, and we'll be reading the proclamation for Sanctity of Human Life Sunday issued by the Josephine County Commissioners.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you, Steve. And again, all of you in Joe County, meet at the courthouse at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
God
Thanks,
bless you,
Steve.
pal. And what kind of a program you got lined up?
Well, we have our traditional Justice Building program. Changes that have happened this year just through circumstance and whatnot is primarily, the biggest surprise will be our music. And we have Jeff Nicholson from the old Spike Zeppelin group at Applegate.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to know Jeff just over the last few weeks as we've worked and prepared for this.
He's wonderful.
What a dynamo this guy is.
Yeah,
and so we're blessed to have Jeff there. And we also have Jackson County's version of Alexa Sled. Now, these are high schoolers who have competed in the Oregon Right to Life oratory contest.
Wow.
And Tucker Phillips was the Jackson County winner last year. Just the model of the kind of guy you want to come over and visit your high school daughter. Really dynamic young man, and I'm just thrilled to have him there, and he will finish the program for us and leave everybody going, wow.
Good.
And so we're going to use that to segue into an invitation to parents to get their high school age kids involved in that oratory contest. And you know, and I tell Carla Deems, who's heading that up, it isn't so much about that 5 minutes or 6 minutes they're up on the stand doing the presentation. It's the hours and hours that they spend digging into the research, assembling all the information, putting their speech together, that stuff will stick with them the rest of their lives. And it's just so important to get these high school kids started. Perry, we're getting old, you and me. we're getting old. I mean, they may have to wheelchair us out there, but we need some young people to buttress our pro-life, movement.
Well,
yeah.
and I am, I realize this is 40 years. Maybe you have some statistics that go with 40 years, but I also know that the digital age is now in our side of the corner of turning a lot of heads. We have ultrasound. We have all of these other documentaries that show the life in the womb and all of these things going on. I think we're going to live to see the day that the Supreme Court is going to have to say, wait a minute, the evidence is on the other side.
Boy, I'm with you, Perry, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because you're 100% right. Just one example is we're watching TV the other night, and here is I believe it was General Electric commercial on the television for their ultrasound system, showing us 3D images. Maybe it was even 4D, which is just movement of the 3D image. They're promoting their machine.
Yeah.
But showing the image of this unborn child.
Right.
And it's just, holy moly. There it is. I mean, whether they did that intentionally or not, in terms of the pro-life promotion, doesn't matter. There it was for millions of people to see, that does look like a baby.
Yeah.
That was so neat.
What are some of the statistics after 40?
Okay. Well, let's start nationally.
All right.
Okay, and we're dealing with 2011 stats at this point in time. Okay, so in the 90s, nationwide, we were experiencing 1.5 or 1.6 million abortions a year. That's dropped to about 1.2. In Oregon, we were, in that same time frame, the 90s, going into the early 2000s, Oregon was experiencing 13 or 14,000 abortions statewide per year. And that has dropped. 2011 was 9567, I believe.
Wow.
Okay, so we've seen this drop. Now, and that's all good. That's all good. But there's a couple of dynamics that enter into this that I'm not certain of, and frankly, I haven't really seen anything that addresses this. Planned Parenthood in particular has been promoting the RU486, the French abortion pill.
Right.
And they're distributing it. They got us started in our Planned Parenthood picket down to national here a couple years ago, which we continue up in Medford. Well, they're distributing that pill. There's no data, there's no control of that information.
So we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. So you have young women that are in these crisis pregnancies that think, well, I really don't want to undergo this procedure. I'll just go for this RU486 thing. And I fear that some of the numbers coming down as far as surgical abortions is concerned is being supplanted by RU486 abortions. And I don't know that we'll ever really know that, because once those pills leave the pharmaceutical, whose hand, they don't know if they're being used or not, or being lent to somebody. I mean, we don't know what's going on. Okay, 9,567 abortions in Oregon in 2011, 458 in Jackson County. And that is, looking at the stats way back into the 90s, Jackson County has stayed pretty steady. They're doing a little of this, but for whatever reason, Jackson County seems to be kind of a hub for southwestern Oregon, and we're seeing the abortion numbers in Jackson County stay pretty steady, which is an unfortunate thing.
On the other hand, we know that a lot of babies are being saved through the pregnancy centers because of ultrasound now, both in Jackson and Josephine County. So you kind of wonder if there's it's up but it's down.
Yeah, again, there's probably no way there'll ever be some sort of a statistic that will say where we know definitively how things are impacted. We know that we still have 3 clinics in Medford that perform surgical abortions, and apparently going strong. We know we get a lot of women from outside of Jackson County coming into Jackson County to have their abortions done because of the lack of facilities
in other places,
in Klamath or in Josephine County, or wherever. So how that all works together, not really sure. We feel, Jackson County Right to Life, we really feel strongly that we need to keep pounding on this issue of what Planned Parenthood is all about, and I feel like that's There's so many components to that, but that's the 900-pound gorilla in Jackson County's room that needs to be dealt with as Planned Parenthood.
I'd carry on from Focus on the Family a couple of days ago, who heads up their policy department, and of course all the issue concerning of abortion. And you know what turned her head? She had an abortion. She was in Bible college, or she was in college. She was a pastor's daughter in college, got pregnant. And she went out and had an abortion, had no idea what had taken place. It was a couple of years later when she saw the fetal development model that just stopped her in her tracks and realized she had killed the baby and had to deal with it spiritually and emotionally. And so you never know how what God's going to use.
You know, and just to take a run with this fetal model thing is, you know, we get, us adults, we just try to make things so complicated.
Right.
And those fetal models, there it is.
So simple.
You know, and at the fair, we have those models on display, and these little children will come over, baby. They don't need any indoctrination. They know what that model is.
Yeah.
It's as clear as a bell to them, even in early stages of gestational age. They know what that is. It's a baby.
Yeah.
And I talk about this. I'm going to be giving a message at First B on Sunday. I talk about this. It's one of the most blessed times because you just see their eyes light up and they grab their mom's sleeve and baby, and they come over. And then some of those parents they'll look over there, they'll see what the child is looking at, and they'll grab that child and just yank them away.
Wow.
And you just go, you know.
Well, I don't know, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. There is no other issue on the face of the earth more important than the human life issue. I believe out of this one issue emulates everything else that we're dealing with in our culture. And we're seeing it played out, and now we're, as you know, we're dealing with the gun control and the Second Amendment issues. This all comes back to, do we value human life? What have we done to the value of human life? We've made it expendable. Some of these video games, you know, you shoot somebody and then you hit reset and there they are, they pop back up again.
Yeah.
And but the whole issue, I think everything that we're dealing with in our culture stems from the value of human life. And if we can get this one solved, we can get this one turned around, I think we'll see revival in this country. But I truly believe that it hinges on whether or not we will stop abortion in our state and in our country.
You know, Perry, you started the program by saying, you know, you believe that we're stronger than ever as the pro-life movement, and I agree with you 100%. And, you know, one of our allies, excuse me, is technology. But, you know, who could have guessed when you and I were sitting around the radio station, you know, 25 years ago talking about this, that we'd be sitting here talking about this at 40 years. I mean, it just, no one could have imagined that the death toll would be 54 or 55 million. It's beyond anybody's comprehension what that really is. So getting out there to that rally on Sunday and re-energizing and reinvigorating yourself, and realize that you're not the only one in this fight, that there are a ton of people out there that feel as you do, participating at whatever level they're able to participate at. So important. We need them there on Sunday so badly.
All right, folks, in both the counties, Jackson and Josephine County, if you're over in Joe County, meet at the courthouse at 1 o'clock, do the walk on down to the park, and that starts at 2 o'clock. If you are in Jackson County, meet at the courthouse at 1:30. And let's come out by the hundreds. Let's just come out by the hundreds. Bundle up, bring your family. Pastors, may I encourage you, just mention this from your pulpit on Sunday. Let people out of church a little bit so they can go get a hamburger, and then get over to the courthouse at 1:30 for this rally. And let's join together and support the unborn, okay? Thank you, Bryon, for what you do.
Thank you,
and
Perry.
all the things you're doing. And I just can't say enough about what you have done through the years to stay there. And then, of course, the next big thing is we want to get our tax dollars out of this argument.
Oh, boy.
Now, that's a big issue, and we want to continue to fight on that. Thank you, bud.
Yeah.
Blessings
Thanks,
on you.
Rick.
Okay, be there 1:30, Jackson County Courthouse, 1 o'clock, Josephine County Courthouse, and let's support the Right to Life movement, okay? All right.